also dovetails into the subject of the next phase of the Electoral Commission supervision of a registration exercise. And we know that for 2024, for onward registration, they're also asking that you need to have a voter, a Ghana card before you make entry into the register. Well, some others who are connoisseurs, who love technology, say that's fair.
So, Roland, to conclude on the first point and your answer and your question, they are trying to force us to fear Dr. Bawumia. I have sat here and I have told you that we are impressed with your results.
The data
and we wish to see more. So you don't sit here and
wish
say
to see
they
him
are afraid
win
of Dr.
over
Bawumia.
200,000.
We can even contribute.
I'm not worried.
If we can contribute to support him, we will do that. Okay. We want him to emerge their candidate. Because, I mean, if you put a failure as your candidate, you only have to let him go into election with his own records and his own lies, and not into election with President Mahama. So, please, that record be set straight. The second one about election matters, and I think it's a very critical one. What we are asking for is to make registration accessible to all. That is all the NDC has been asking for. You go to IPAC, political parties at that meeting opposed to your using only district offices and district centers as registration centers. You assure them of reviewing whatever measures you brought to them, only for them to wake up the next day and see you granting an interview, repeating what you had said that they objected to. And today it is not the NDC speaking. 7 political parties have held a press conference, and they have opposed the position of the Electoral Commission. Look, in 2019, we had 1,500 centers, registration centers. There was an estimation of doing about 500,000 new voters. At the end of the day, we registered about 1.2 million in that registration. That was 2019. This time, for 4 good years, you haven't undertaken any limited registration exercise. From 2020, when we had mass registration, 2021, 2022, 2023. So all those who turned 18 and in 2020 and could not register, by now should be about 21 years. So from 18 to 21 years are the people we are expected to find on our new or on our limited voters register. And all you think of doing is rather to reduce the centers from 1,500 to only 268. Look, go to a community like Daboya. People who have to travel over 4 hours from Mankarugu to the district capital to register. And if these people come and we have to compete with about 1,000 people at the registration center, it means these people will have to spend the night there, wake up in the morning, and still join the queue. How do you expect people to bear, especially finding ourselves under these hardships we are currently situated in? How do you expect? Go to a constituency like Bamboy. Somebody will have to leave Bandankwanta, travel all the way to Bole, the capital, to come and register. And if the person comes and there's any delay, the person may have to stay for 2-3 days at his own cost, only because the person turned 18 years and will have to register to become a voter in this country. We have told them that decentralize the registration process. At least, we even reminded them of their own measure, where we had registration in phases. If you think you don't have the machines to do all the electoral areas as we are speaking of, you can have registration in phases. Where you do phase 1 at this point, do phase 2 at that point, do phase 3. This is common sense.
So that you have
and we expect
a congregation of more
machines. People, more machines,
okay,
and more people coming on board. Look, Jane Mensah should remember that you are not conducting elections for the Electoral Commission. You are conducting elections for political parties and the people of this country. So whatever measure you take to make elections accessible and registration accessible to the people of this country are measures we should be looking out for. And that is all the NDC has been asking. Not that we are saying don't register, or not that we are saying don't allow new people. No. People must be made to register, because the very people who are going through these challenges are those we need on board. Look, NAPCO trainees for over 18 months have still not been paid ever since their exit of office. NSS personnel, for the first time, for about 4 months, NSS personnel have not been paid.
What's the correlation?
People, I'm going to explain that.
What's the correlation?
Lots of these people are going to be first-time voters. And they are people, you must listen. I've told you to always listen. You understand correlation. They are first-time voters. And people who would wish to register and be onto the voters register. Voters. And if registration is not made accessible to all these people, how do they register their displeasure against your very wicked and incompetent and insensitive government? This is the first step where people will register and take a major decision in 2024. And all these political parties are asking for is that we are those going to go into elections. We are those going to present candidates for elections. Please and please decentralize your process. Have an electoral area registration. Have people at the various electoral areas come and attest to people. Roland, remember, and to learn on this point, that people moving from Emankarugu to Daboya Township to come and register, all political parties would have to have just one agent at that center. How do people attest to the fact that this person coming to register indeed is from this particular vicinity or has lived?
But Malik,
but when you decentralize
all the new voter, all the new first-time registrants,
absolutely,
they are not only for MPP, they're also for NDC.
That is why we say. So that is why we decentralize it. Okay. We are on the same page.
So you're arguing for the access. Have we told you
to go and do the registration in our branch chairman's house? Okay. We are saying do it at the electoral areas. If indeed you know your people would register and vote for you, take it down there. Let your people register. Why? At the end of the day, those coming to register, do you know their political colors? We are only sympathizing with the Ghanaian people. People are going through hardships. Lorry fares are even on the rise. People cannot buy fuel. Accommodation is on the rise. What somebody will eat morning, afternoon, evening is a problem. Those days, the formula was 010. These days, it is 17. So once a week, you go and then you relax. The rest is on management. You're on autopilot. So please, let us sympathize with the current economic situation. Let us sympathize with the indigenous of the various communities. The people are ready to register. NDC will partake in the registration exercise. We will mobilize our people to register. But please and please, for the sake of God and the love of this nation, decentralize it. Let people have access to register. And at the end of the day, they take a major decision in 2024. That is all the NDC is asking for.
Fair argument. Or is not?
Yes, Roland. If it's about records in the Zongos, our records are completely unmatched. We've constructed not less than 200 schools in Zongos alone.
Is it my constituency? Is this a response to the voting?
No. Yes, but
you spoke about it earlier. You introduced the Zongo thing.
I'm only trying to really tell him that. What is our records? He asked, what is our records in the Zongos? And I'm telling him that the Zongo I was born in.
Let's go on.
We have two 60-unit classroom blocks in Efiduasi Zongo and Asokori Zongo. When you come to Asawasi, when you go to even Dansuman here, its structure, that was just a wooden structure, is now a story building built by the Zongo Development Fund. In the Zongo, this Hiaudin primary school. So for us to do the comparison in the Zongos, that's the reason they are. I'm saying that they are afraid, they are scared of Dr. Baumia.
The residents of
exactly.
The Zongo.
We are all residents of
Those who thought how to do Wache will vote.
NSS personnel have. It's not true that NSS personnel have not been paid for a lot of months. It's only in July. My wife is an NSS personnel. I know what I'm talking about.
It's only a month.
Exactly, only a month.
Yes.
and they will be paid. It's not as if that they will not be paid. Again, no NSS person or NAPCO person is a new voter. Check the number of years you spend in completing tertiary institution for you to be. So you sit here, you talk about something you don't even understand. One.
No, make that statement again.
Yes, I said he sits here.
There are individuals who might have been in university but might not have registered to be voters in the last
simple.
Yes.
You just need
how
to
is that possible? How is that possible?
You just need to
how many
this.
people?
Exactly.
How many people?
Basic to know.
So it's happened to certain individuals.
Even I'm saying for example, whoever is doing national service today,
listen,
will have to register with even Ghana card. He's over 18.
Please relax and listen.
So I think we have to be realistic with ourselves. And these days, the young people are going to school very early.
Yes,
so sometimes you have a 22-year-old finishing.
Personnel.
It is possible.
It's not possible.
Okay.
It's not possible because
for NAPCO personnel to register,
spend 3 years.
Even a 42-year-old man is possible that he's going to register
become a NAPCO personnel, you have to show your national service certificate. So you should be over 18 by then.
No.
And you spent 3 years. Are you having the
assumption that no, it is 10. No. Are you having the assumption that anybody who passed 18 at the time of voting in December 2020 had registered? Because in the year when the registration is cut off for the election year, if you are not able to register even before you turn 18, you don't get into the register until the next registration period.
And that's what
so there is a possibility.
So when you say NAPCO personnel,
maybe you can talk about the numbers or the quantum.
So, yes, the elections, the Electoral Commission, they are saying that they are looking at 1 point. I'm not changing goalposts because if you want me to go back to what I'm discussing, I will just discuss it. You understand? So
let's get to the voters.
Exactly. You are regulating it.
He's misfiring.
Yes, yes. You don't even understand the electoral process. That's why.
You don't even understand. He's misfiring.
So the Electoral Commission is saying that they are expecting to register 1.3 million people. Looking at the times between 2019, 2020, 2023, looking at the statistics we have as a country, because the Statistical Service brought in their statistics, and that's what they use mostly to look at the numbers so that they will do their projections and know the number of people they will do that. Again, my personal view is that doing it at the district level will not serve the interest of any political party. The registration, the limited registration at the district level. I have a constituency that I used to have a farm in, Central Farm Plains, within Ashanti region. If you are going to Drobonso, the district capital.
Drobonso?
Yes, the district capital. And you are at Seneso, or you are at Anyurofi. Yes, you are at Anyurofi. You will have to travel to Atebubu, then to Edra, then to Efijase, then Kumau, then you go to, it will take you, if you're not careful, 2 days to even get to the district capital. So someone who is 18 today, or 19 or 20 or 21, who is to register, if you tell the person to come, especially today, that the voter card is really for only voting, because Ghana card has taken over almost everything. It will not serve as an incentive for someone to go and register. Initially, people angle to register for the cards because they know when you're going to the bank, you use your voter ID card. When you're going to access any service, you use the voter ID card and so on. So what the Electoral Commission is doing, if you're not careful, will not get even the numbers they are talking about. Because if the person thinks that, well, I'm just going to do registration to have a card that I will use to vote, I will not waste my time and resources to travel all the way to come and do this. If they do it within towns, for instance.
So you're also against the structure by which
the structure
is completely wrong.
It's completely wrong. The AC must come again so that they are able to do. Because places like Asawase constituency, wherever you center it, even if you do it at the Askwari Mampong office, whoever will want to register, it's just a walking distance because the constituency in itself is not very wide. That wherever you are, you should be able to walk to that place and register. But in rural constituencies, for instance, the Daboya Mankarigu that he's talking about, some will have to even be on a boat, right? They will have to cross boats before they are able to get to some communities and so on. The registration, I remember in 2019, when they were doing the registration, even within Asawase constituency, they did it at 3 different places. They did the first one at a particular place around Asawase. They did the second part at another place, and they did the third part at the district office and so on. They can still go ahead and do this. It will serve our own purpose. It will serve the purpose of in the EC for them to get the numbers they want. Those that are going to be registered, majority of them are Akufo-Addo graduates. Majority of them are the Akufo-Addo graduates, those who completed senior high schools. Because at the time that they were doing the registration, they were in senior high schools. Majority of them are in the senior high schools, 19, 20, 21, and so on. Again, when you mass up people and send them to the registration centers, which we do, both NDC and MPP, we go with
the
cars.
political parties.
Yes, we
those
go.
Who can.
Yes, we go with cars. We bring them to register and so on. That doesn't guarantee that they will vote for you. I remember in 2016 when I defected to the MPP.
You were with
yes,
NDC.
Yes. I went to Efidioase to visit my parents. When I got there, a lot of children were just outside. They were just waiting for me outside. Then when I went and I met them, they said, "We are all joining you. We'll all vote for MPP." Then I pointed to I pointed to one small boy. I said, "You, do you have a vote?" He said, but you, pa, this one even has a vote, not unlike me. I said, "Who registered you?" Then they mentioned the NDC constituency organizer who registered them. So you registering them, aiding them to register doesn't necessarily mean that they will vote for you. The Ghanaian is discerning by the day.
This is just
the Ghanaian is telling
story.
you. The Ghanaian is
this
telling
is like
you
a can drama.
they will look at their situation. They will look at who is coming. They will look at between Dr. Bawumia and the incompetent former President Mahama,
the storyteller
who went to Kumasi and told the people of Kumasi that he will not implement anything when he is elected because he will only continue what we are doing. When he was campaigning last year, he went to Kumasi and said he will continue what we are doing because he has said it before that 4 years cannot help any government to do anything meaningful. So definitely Ghanaians will look at both and see which one they will vote for. So that's very important.
At the end of the day, you want the Electoral Commission to ensure that they create the access. And that is why. What do you advocate for? That they create multiple centers or more centers? Right?
Yes, they create multiple centers.
Or they do it in
or better still,
that's the argument. That's the point.
All right, so that, yes, we are all in agreement.
All right.
Exactly.
We need multiple
okay, so we have 5 more minutes, then we'll do cash out. Let me read a couple of the messages. I apologize for not being able to read the messages. Oliver Lawson, my lead producer, always gives me pressure. That's why. Oliver, I apologize to you as well. So I have this one from... Okay, I have this one, and he says that the EC must revise their stance. If you take guarantors to help you get on the voters register, who will pay for their affairs? Because the person might not be. Okay, you're talking, then it has to be, you only get guarantors for the Ghana card. You can't get guarantors in registering because the EC is no more taking guarantors. Is that not true? They are no more taking guarantors, right? In the new draft. In the new draft that they have.
No, for this one, they will use.
But this one is the onward. This is the onward. This one is based on the existing 126 CI.
They still accept.
Triddle says, it's quite interesting listening to Awal this morning on your show. If his relatives was among the 8 people that lost their lives during the 2020 elections, which has never happened in this country before, I'm sure he will recollect the number of people that lost their lives because President wanted a second term at all costs. Triddle's giving us those messages this morning. Now, you said the advert to EC is running includes guarantors. Yes, it's because they are using the existing 126. Now, Akogan says, let me correct an impression Awal is making on your show. First of all presidential primaries were organized alongside the parliamentary elections, obviously, which were heated situations amongst the parliamentary aspirants in Pram, and 3 people were arrested. Awal shouldn't forget that they have not yet organized a presidential parliamentary election. He should be the last person counting and poo-pooing the number of dead in election because he was properly trained in NDC. You were in NDC, Moses Bedi says the idea of a
Why didn't you wait for an answer to that question?
The idea of a super delegates conference is a reflection of the poor decision-making prowess of the people misruling us. Well, it was based on the 2007 incident. Now, Godfred from Hokwe says, tell the MPPs a while to stop laughing and telling us why they are performing very poor as a government. It is irritating. Prince Henry Kofodria, please ask Awal whether do or die is the same as all die be die said by Nanado, the president. Hypocrisy is the food for him. Okay. Then I also have this one. Akogan, I've read your message. This one says, Abdul from Tamale South constituency, tell Awal to stop laughing when his colleague is speaking. It is disrespectful to us, the viewers. Musa Abatwa in Aswasi says, Mohammed Awal is arguing blindly. Till the day of the swearing-in of the sitting president, continue to perform his functions as a commander-in-chief of the Ghana Forces. MPP is, you said, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Okay, bro.
And then let me read a few more messages, okay? So this one from Chief Monte says, the whole continent is endowed with the same incompetent leadership, same problem cut across Africa, bad governance, etc., unemployment. And then ask Awal why sarcastically he's laughing. So I should ask you why you're
Awal has been laughing too. Maybe he's very happy.
John Panwo, okay, let me just also read this one. Seidu Salaga says, tell Awal that at this stage of our life in Ghana, what we need most is humility and admission, not rhetorics. Thank you very much for your message.
I admitted.
The inroads made by NPP in the then Northern region is partly as a result of the Dagbon crisis and not totally to Baumia. Abodeyen Ayengora Bolga Senior High School.
So Savannah 2. Savannah 2 was
Roland.
Dagbon.
So in conclusion,
no, you have no conclusion.
Julius,
I didn't read his message yesterday. Julius Agaoa and Tahiru Aswanse.
How many seats do you have there?
We have 4.
What happened during the NPP Super Delegates Conference is unfortunate. I think it should be a wake-up call.
You have 2. We have 4.
Roland, let me correct you.
We have
He said
4.
we have 1 seat in Northeast.
Yes,
let me remind
we used to have 1.
Relax.
We used to have 1.
Let me
Now we have 4.
Relax. Northeast, we have Nanergu. We have Cherpani.
Which Cherponi? Which Cherponi?
Cherponi.
Which Cherponi?
Please.
Our former DC is now the NPP.
Please
So
let
we
it.
have listen. We have Nanergu.
Please. Let me read the message.
That's which Bunkuru?
Please let it be known that according to Richard Nyama, Alan spokesperson, about 25 officers were wounded.
We have
You
4.
said that we say we have 1.
Where he comes from, we have
You said
4.
that we
You
say
have
we have
2.
1. Who
All
has
right.
1? We have Nanergu.
We
We
used
have
to have
Bukuru.
1. Now we
And you
have
said
4.
you used to
We're
have
taking a break. We'll be right back.
Check your facts and statistics.